Hello, happy Memorial Day, my crafty friends. Today is the beginning of the red, white, and blue season, especially if you live in the United States. For those of you outside the US, we hope that you're having a beautiful Monday. Today is the day that we remember those who have sacrificed and served for our freedoms and freedoms around the world. Now, we're not a perfect country, but we are perfectly proud of being patriotic here. And I love America. I love the United States of America. So I am all for the red, white, and blue today. We're going to do a red, white, and blue project. Let's get started. My question for you today to start with is, have you had any of your family members or have you yourself served in one of the armed forces in any capacity? I would love to hear that. My father served in the National Guard just out of high school. He said it was the biggest shock of his life, but I am grateful for his service as well as many who went before me who have paved the way for where we are here today. It kind of reminds me of a song that my friend and I just sang last week in our choir, which was "To Those Who Came Before Me." And it was a beautiful tribute to all of those who have made sacrifices, including the families of our service members who make a great sacrifice to have those people gone from us for a while, right? So true. All right, we are going to be using the party banners. These are the ones we used last week. It's only been 7 days, 7 days ago. So we are using them again today. And sometimes you're like, I don't want to make a whole banner. So I'm going to show you just an easy one banner, one cut with this. And these party banners are found in my Stampin' Up store here right below, creativejuicedbylonnie.com. You can click on Shop 24/7 and find these party banners. There are a bunch of them in different sizes, including one that is pretty close to an A2 card size that we used last week. You're welcome to go check that out. See last week's video about how to make a card from these. But I'm going to use the largest one, which is about 5 by 7 today. Let's set that aside for just a moment. And I'm also going to be using the Pretty Florals stamp set, some Real Red, Night of Navy, and Basic White cardstock. And I also cut out a few things already in preparation. I'm going to stamp, though, to start with some Real Red. So let's start with our stamping. I'm going to do all of the little nitpicky things first. And sometimes that's the easiest way. Looks like I still am drooping this week. I was trying to get it so it's not so droopy, but it's a little bit droopy. It's okay. The best way to do is get everything all prepared, especially if you know what you're creating. So start fresh, get it going. And whoops, I'm going to start with this one. I'm going to start with the detail design of our flowers here. So I'm going to stamp the details in full strength ink right there, Real Red. Then I'm going to use my Real Red and the large base for this flowers. I'm going to stamp it off once, and then I'm going to use my dark previously stamped image to line those up. That's called two-step stamping and gives you this pretty design with the one ink pad, two different stamping, and it looks like if you make a mistake, the nice thing is there's two sides to every piece of paper. So let's try that again. Stamp it off once onto a piece of scrap paper, and then we'll stamp that again. Oh, that looks much better. For some reason I didn't get that last one quite lined up, but you can see through our photopolymer stamps to line them up perfectly. Okay, so I have done that. Then we would cut these out. I'm going to bring in my big cut and emboss. I'm going to do this twice, it looks like. I'm going to line up my stamped images right here with my die from the Pretty Florals dies. I have a piece of garden green. I'm going to do one more little leaf. I've done a bunch of these already. Now hopefully we can get them through without moving them. You can use a little bit of washi tape should you need to, but we're going to just cut those right out. So other things that I love about being a citizen of the United States is that people serve one another, not just in the military, but we try, and I hope this is in every country, but we have had a whole bunch of people in our neighborhood who got up this morning and put up flags without being paid, not a paid position, all throughout our neighborhood. So everybody has a flag. I appreciate the other freedoms that come, like being creative. Having time to be creative is a great blessing. Okay, so I'm going to show you really quickly. I have a bunch of things already cut out of my die with my dies, including I used some that were blue, so I stamped in Night of Navy and either stamped it off just like you saw me do, or I may have used balmy blue on the inside. So you've got a couple of those. So I've got some flowers here, red, white, and blue, and a little bit of greenery. Let's make our banner really quickly. So I have a 5.5 by 7-inch piece of real red cardstock, as I mentioned. And I'm actually going to use, I had it here. It seems like, it disappears. I'm going to put this together. For me, it's a little easier. Some people like liquid glue for this, but I'm actually going to use my Stampin' Seal. It's less messy, doesn't get all over my fingers, and I'm going to do a little bit of liquid glue in a minute. But for right now, we're going to do Stampin' Seal. I have a 2-inch by 5.5-inch piece of Night of Navy that's going to go at the top of my banner here. And then if you are like me, you have a bunch of 1/2-inch strips that you have cut off of white paper when you are making layers for your cards. We seem to have these extra 1/2-inch strips, so I'm going to make good use of those today. We're going to use these as our stripes. So I'll just start adding that to the front here like this. Use up everything, all of the pieces we have, right? All the supplies that are in our possession. Okay, we'll keep adding just our stripes. That one looks like it's less than a 1/2 inch. Maybe we'll set that one aside. We don't want it to be like different sizes. That's a better 1/2 inch, it looks like. Here's one that we need to do. And here's one that we can do. That one looked like, the other one looked like it was less than a 1/2 inch. It wasn't quite. Oh, see, that one, well, maybe I have a couple of different sizes. There's another one that looks like it's about the right size. And trust me, I have plenty of them. There we go. It does say it is a 1/2 inch. Oh, maybe it's a little bit more than a 1/2 inch. Who knows? It's all right. Does not matter. That one looks okay. Pretty similar. I just want them to be, somewhat similar. There we go. So I'm making, they're all coming down. Let's find one more. That's the right width. That's going to be close enough, I think. I think it is. Okay. I'm going to cut off the ends here. You don't even have to, except that I did notice that when I forgot to cut these off the first time, they got stuck on my cutting plate. I also love singing with our patriotic songs. This morning I was able to sing with our local community choir for the Memorial Day event at the cemetery. Okay, this is just bugging me. I'm going to have to fix it. Apologies. But I just want it to be somewhat straight. And that just makes me feel better. We got to sing all of the theme songs for each of the armed services, Army, Navy, Marines, Coast Guard, on those that we have like that. Okay, so we're going to put our banner in our cut and emboss machine with the largest banner frame. One thing I also learned this morning is that this is such a big die cuts that you want to make sure that all your layers are stacked up right on top of each other, all of your platforms and your cutting plates. If you don't, you're going to end up with a piece that did not get cut correctly, so make sure that they're all stacked up and lined up. Then we'll just run this right through, crackle, crinkle, crack. We'll have it, and we'll have a banner. And we'll be ready to embellish it. Let me show you what that looks like. Whew, all the pieces coming apart. Your little bottom to the banner. Moving it out of the way one more time. Okay, so here we have our banner. Ready, cut, ready to go. This one actually looks a little better. We're going to use this one. I've already done one, so that's the one I'm going to use because it has a better little tail right here. So we're ready to go. Okay, let's get this, let's put it together. Now I am going to bring in my liquid glue, and I'm going to make a wreath right here in the middle. We'll start with our green, granny apple green leaves. This is one that I was just noticing I have on my front door. I'm going to put this right here. Wipe off any extra. It dries clear, thankfully. I had something on my door that said spring, but I have my bunting, my Patriotic bunting on my front porch, so I knew I needed to update what was on the front door. So I'm just going to make, you could draw a circle. I've seen people do that, but this one is going to be kind of a loose, I'm going to move that down just a bit, a loose wreath. So just a bit of a liquid glue on the leaves here for our first layer. I have 4 of them, so it's kind of just going in a square, but we'll make it look circular in a minute. Have you used your supplies to ever make any, your stamping supplies to make any home decor? We do that quite often with our classes. Quite often we make a piece of home decor, and it's fun to do a seasonal. We call these seasonal things, obviously, for whatever season is coming along. So we'll add our granny apple, smaller leaves, sprigs of greenery, so Memorial Day is much more than, we are going to go have a barbecue, but it's more than just barbecues. It's a time to remember and reflect about those who've paid the ultimate sacrifice and their families. And this, I think sometimes just having that feeling of patriotism, whether you're from Canada or whichever country you happen to be in. Let's bring this up so you can see it a little bit closer. You can kind of see my wreath is starting to take shape. And having pride in your country, even though there are some difficult things that are happening in the world right now, for certain, I can testify to that. I think we have to band together and become strong and not. I love Dave Ramsey's quote. He says, "It's more important what goes on in my own house than what goes on in the White House." And so whether you are for or against the current administration, I don't care, as long as you are trying to do something good in your own circle of influence. That is more important than what's happening up there. Don't worry about that. Of course, we have to try to vote and use our influence to vote for good people. And I believe that there are some good people who are trying to do the right things. But the other thing I think that is the more difficult challenge that we have as Americans right now is not to call each other's names, because when we call one, and we're not just two parties. I'm not neither. I can tell you that I am neither a Republican nor a Democrat. I try to vote for the person that I think is the most competent and will do the best job, and they don't always do that for me sometimes. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. And they can be the same person could do something awesome and maybe sometimes something I don't love. That's part of life. We have to try to do our best, right? And teach our kids to be good citizens. Okay, so now we're just going to add some of our extra flowers. I may even add I can add a little bit of greenery to the back of my flower with my dimensional. And then tuck it in here and there so we've got flowers coming everywhere. And this part, you're going to, as a wreath, it would go around. So make sure that your flowers, I should probably tuck in some of these blue ones really quickly too. I do use both sides of my paper, so sometimes you'll see something on the other side that may be, let's see, I'm going to do it like this, I think. I don't know. I think I'm going to do it like this. Okay. There we go. A little green, a little blue, red, white, and blue on that. I may only do a couple of these. I haven't made one yet. This is really, truly live crafting. I feel like I need a little bit of, well, maybe that's going to be okay right there. I think that's going to be okay. This one we can kind of curve around, should we need it to be. Or we can even cut it down if we need to. So we'll do that. I'm going to cut a little bit like this. So we've just got a little bit of that blue. There we go. And then this one could go right here. I like it. Or maybe I like it better like this. There we go. This is truly, oh, here's a small little flower. I like having, sometimes you don't want to just have them all like just evenly spaced out, because that doesn't really look like it was random. So I'm just kind of playing around with some of these. I think I'm going to do that one right there. I like it. You can always kind of, as you're working with dimensionals, you have a little bit of time to kind of make it look like what you want it to look like. So don't feel bad about rearranging things as necessary. I swear we had one more piece of, well, it's okay. We've got this little piece right here we can use. So I'm going to add a little bit of greenery. You can stuff greenery in as you want to around the wreath as well. So we're going to put a large one down here, kind of so they're not exactly balanced evenly, but randomly. I think we're getting there. What else do we need? Do you think now maybe what we'll do is pause for just a moment and then we can decide what else we need. Because what I've done is I have a 1 inch by whatever, 8.5 inch piece of Night of Navy. There you go. And we're going to, I've already cut out all my little letters that spell freedom, which is not free. We are here thanks to many wonderful people who have paid the ultimate sacrifice. Now I'm going to make a banner. So to make a banner, I'm going to fold this back not exactly straight. So on both sides, we'll do it a little bit like this, fold it back like that. And then you're going to bring that flag, I guess, back towards the front so it goes like this. Same thing on this side. Just a little bit underneath, maybe, like a little more than 1/2 inch. Now I've got my banner at least kind of poking back out the right direction, and we want to, I'm looking at the other side so it's kind of even. I'm going to flag the ends very shallowly from the edge. So we've got, I snipped up the middle of my 1 inch piece to create the first cut. Let me show you one more time. So you're going to snip up the middle, just a smidge, and then from each corner to the center, to create your little banner like this. So you can see that how this is going to fit right here on the front. And I want it to have a little bit of, what's the word? Movement, freedom, a little freedom. What I think I'm going to do is attach the first bump with a dimensional, so it gives us some dimension. That's the word I was looking for, as a matter of fact. So it gives us a little bit of dimension, and then we can attach the back of our banners also with a dimensional. And that kind of pops up off of our banner. Look how cute. Okay, it's looking grand. I'm going to move it down a little bit. Maybe. Oh, sorry, pulling on my green stuff. I don't want to do that. Okay, I like that a little bit better. So I can see that I need a couple of things right here. Let's use a smaller one, and we'll just kind of put it behind here. This is the easy part, where you just fill in where you feel like there is an empty space. And maybe you say, okay, I really want it to have, I don't know, I think I want that big piece. I might want a little piece. Let's see if we can get a little piece of it. Maybe I'd rather have it do it like this. I'm playing with it right now. I don't want it to be exactly symmetrical, so I'm kind of trying to decide where that will be the best place to, I kind of like it right there. That looks okay. Where will be the best to add it? Or perhaps right there. No, it almost needs to be like right here, doesn't it? I think so. And then we'll add a red piece. Thanks for watching, and if you've been watching this on replay later when you're, not busy on this weekend, thank you for saying hello to me. It's always more fun to know that there is a friend who has watched or is watching. Your comments are so appreciated. Okay, so we've got a couple more. I think we need one more over here. Yes, I do. But I think it needs to be this medium-sized one. Oh, getting so close. And maybe another small one down here. And we'll be pretty close. Then I'll show you how we're going to hang it on our door. By the way, I was going to remember to tell you that we have just a few days left for our May 2023. Need some opportunity to join Stampin' Up. You can, usually when you join Stampin' Up, it's always, the starter kit is always the best option. You get to choose $125 of product for only $99. So that's fantastic for any new paper crafter. And if you've got a little piece that sticks out, just cut it off. But during May 2025, you can choose $165 worth of supplies for free. Then you'll also get a free paper pumpkin kit. And our paper pumpkin kit that is coming is just so cute. I'm going to sneak this one right underneath here. Got a little bit more blue. There we go. Peeking out. Okay, so there's our cute little banner, Freedom. What do you think? We're going to add something for it to go on. But, oh, I was telling you, so you can choose $165. Kind of one of the fun things is that this party banners that we have is $40, but if you bundle it with the party dies the party alphabet that we used last year, that is $125. So anytime that you join Stampin' Up and you're like, oh yes, at least while we still have these, this is May 26, 2025, you could choose the Party Dies bundle, that's the banners and the alphabet, in your starter kit for $99. You also get free shipping. Now, during May, you can add more things because you get to choose $165 in your starter kit. And you can do that at Lonnie, Loni, stampinup.net/join now. Or go to Creative Juice by Lonnie and click on join. That will work. So I have a piece of just a little piece of balsa wood that I had used for a couple of other little projects. You could use a dowel. You could use a chopstick if you have a chopstick. But I'm going to use this little piece of balsa wood, and it cuts nicely with my fantastic retired rubber scissors, my craft and rubber scissors. And I'm going to adhere this to my banner to the balsa wood using liquid glue. So we're going to just do that. Now I've also used the back of, and it kind of wiggles while it's still wet. I've also used the back of some of my designer series paper, cut it out another banner. I wanted to give it a little heft, a little weight. So I'm going to just glue this as well to the back, and I'm going to glue the words in. So you can see, this is just a little heftier piece of cardstock. I'm going to put that on the back. So it's going to cover up the back like this. Gives it just 2 layers of weight. Now I have something to tie some ribbon to. I'm just going to use a little bit of I think we still have this sheer ribbon with silver edge on it. This is 3/8, what is it called? This is called Silver and White. Surprise! A perfect description and a name. So we're going to tie one right here. Decide how long you want it. I want it to be about like that, so I'll come back down here, tie it around. I'm going to make sure that it would hang flat like this, and then cut off some extra, tie it around, and we are done with our cute little thing, which will go through Flag Day. We've got Memorial Day, Flag Day, and the 4th of July. So let's see if I can get that over a little bit. Stuck. Okay, I can do that. I can do hard things. There we go. And there's my cute little freedom hanger. Isn't that so cute? You could say USA. You could say hooray, celebrate, whatever you would like. But that is my little thing that is going to go in the front door. I'm going to go take a picture of it and show you how cute it is when we have it all finished on the front door. I'm going to add maybe a little bit more greenery here just to top it off, and maybe a bit of bling. Who knows? You never know till I turn off the camera and say, what else does it need? But I think it's pretty darn cute, just that way as well. All right, thank you for joining me. Happy Memorial Day. I will not be here next week. I'll be on vacation, so catch me the second week of June, second Monday of June, and I'll be back on Facebook and YouTube on that day. Meanwhile, keep crafting. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for watching. I will be happy to share. If you have questions, drop them below. I'll be happy to be sharing more things with you again soon. Thank you. Happy Memorial Day.